I said, get her some perfume. I said, treat her good. He started laughing. He said, be here, but he's going to be a little late.
Oh, wow, that's really close.
Mark's never on time.
Does he have a habit of being late?
Well, he works late.
Where's he work?
Over for
Does he?
okay.
What's that? Well, somewhat. Usually, I guess Erin's always usually the backup. She would be here, but her baby was sick. So, usually, I think on a couple other cities, I'll kind of like Flatwoods, I'll kind of cover for Stephen, and then I'm the city attorney for Worthington.
Yeah.
So, kind of different. It's sort of different. You think all the cities are kind of similar, but they can really vary.
Lacey, can I get a copy of this? Just after.
Yeah, hang on.
He worked for me.
Oh, yeah. I'll just set that right there.
If you tell him to do something he didn't think was exactly right. Yeah, true.
I don't understand.
I told him about that. Brooks. I was raised up in the same way as you were. You know what you're going. This is
That's right. And we lost it.
Most is right there. I keep waiting on the hammer to fall.
Yeah.
March is going to be awesome. I'm already expecting.
When I grow up, I want to be like Mark. When I grow up, I want to be like Mark.
No. I'm not sure.
The advantage
Jury's still out of
the advantage of living with my dad. This is just sweater from probably 50 years ago. I got a whole new wardrobe.
Oh,
And it's coming back in style.
yes. That's how I said that.
A little late. All right, I'm gonna get the city council meeting started.
Yep, it's time.
Water to side.
Yeah.
Like 86 customers.
All right, we're going to go ahead and get started and call the February 14th, 2023 Greenup City Council meeting to order with roll call.
Mark Harris.
Here.
Jeff Hearn.
Here.
John Miller. Teresa Hill.
Here.
Bruce Nance.
Here.
Jamie Gillen.
First thing we'll do is go to the audience. I believe you signed in. Come on up. Just state your name. The floor is yours.
My name is John Lambert. I live over in Big Lost Creek, Route 784, Greenup County. And the people over there kind of, I don't know if they elected me or just pushed me. Anyhow, they told me to come over here and talk to you all. Said the governor had money out there and willing to give that to put in some water systems. They've been better than 20 years over there trying to get water up Big Lost Creek. There's only about, and I measured, I think it's around 3.5 miles from where, if I know where Greenup ends, and where actually I believe it's Grayson picks up. Of course, there is a hill there. And so you're talking about a pumping station. There's probably 25 to 30 families in that area. And we just like to implore you all. I was asked to come here by actually one of the governor's people and speak to you all and ask you if you would be willing to take a look at it and do whatever study you need to do, feasibility or whatever.
Well, if you don't mind me asking, who was the governor's people that sent you?
And I knew he was going to ask that, and I came from work.
You need to call them back, tell them to send a check.
Well, okay, I can do that. If you all be willing to look into this for us.
Absolutely.
Okay. We were told there was water out there. I was trying to think of the man's name. He's works in the region. Eric, maybe.
Eric Patton,
That's it.
he's from Five Co.
Okay.
Okay.
Yeah, and he told me he instructed me to come here and speak with you all,
Yeah.
and he said that should get the ball rolling. Now I don't know what that meant.
No, that doesn't actually get the ball rolling. What you need to do is get those people out there to sign a petition that they want water. And then you don't have to come back on a city council meeting night.
Okay.
Just bring that in to our office, and then we can take it from there. And we can start looking at the funding, if there's any funding availabilities out there. Maybe Eric knows something that I don't know at the moment, and he just hasn't called and told me. But as of right now, for that area, I don't know of any funding whatsoever for that area. But again, Eric may know something that I don't. But we're always looking and to expand our water system.
Okay.
If you know somebody, down in Frankfurt that is willing to work with you guys and get funding, Mickey will always get some grease. So those people out there need to, call their legislators. And
well, Rocky Atkins is from Olive Hill, and I pastor the Olive Hill Methodist Church there.
there you go.
So I know Rocky, and a lot of my people know him.
You have good contact.
And we can screw it.
First thing to do is get the
petition,
get the
bring it
petition.
back here.
Yep. Get as many people as you can,
Okay.
and try to rough guesstimate, 25 customers per mile and a half or whatever it may be out there. Just write that down on that petition, and then we'll take it from there.
I can do that.
It's easy.
Thank you, folks.
First step. Thank you. Is there anybody else in the audience? Next item on the agenda is to approve the minutes.
I'll make that motion.
I'll second it.
I have a motion and a second. Is there any discussion? Roll call.
Bruce Mance.
Yes.
John Norman.
Yes.
Doretha Hill.
Yes.
Jeff Hearn.
Yes.
Mark Harris.
Yes.
So I'm going to jump around the agenda a little bit. So watch me and don't let me skip over anything as you normally do. But a lot of us attended the Greenup Physical Court meeting this morning, and I'm not sure if any of you people that are in the audience are aware, but we've entered into an agreement with the physical court on a water line extension, Phase 9B, which you'll see here tonight, and Richard's going to talk about it. We actually received our first installment from the physical court today for Phase 9B. It's going to be at no cost to the city of Greenup. We're looking at picking up somewhere around 84 to 90 customers and bringing water to Siloam Bottoms with a 10-inch line that will hopefully, in due time, supply some manufacturing that could possibly coming in the future. So I'm going to turn it over to Richard at this point in time, let him talk to you guys about Phase 9B, and then we're going to go from there into the Route 1 waterline project, Richard, and Phase 9B bid process.
It's an exciting time for the city of Greenup. Congratulations on your grant with the county. It's something been in the works for quite some time. But basically, the line extension will come up Route 23. I guess I should say down Route 23, downriver. Come to across from Hardin's Greenhouse. We're going to bore US 23. And then down Banner Road, we're going to bore the railroad, CSX railroad. Here we're going to split. This is the 1,000-acre approximately section of land. Most of that's owned by Mr. Sam Howard. And this is part of the economic development impact that Bobby Hall was excited to see, that we can get district transmission lines to this area. We also will then go down Banner Road and basically loop around the Siloam Bottom area. Also, another option to bore CSX here and take in the last few houses down D'Antone Lane. But the county already voted today to allow us to use those easements for the county road. These plans have been submitted to the DOW, and also the plans for the borings have been submitted to the transportation and CSX. So we're very much along the way. The next step would be to go ahead and authorize the advertisement for bid for this project, and then we can get the wheels rolling there and have it out to bid. So when the plans are officially approved, we can award it for construction. So that's the game plan here on phase 9. Any questions?
I would like to add that I think everybody except for Mr. Norman was at the fiscal court meeting this morning. You wasn't there, was you, John?
Pardon?
You wasn't at the fiscal court meeting. It was very exciting times. I mean, you could feel the excitement in the room, and the potential that this brings not only to us as a city but to the county as a whole for future growth and manufacturing in that area. And to go along with our new water plant that hopefully we will start construction on sometime in the very near future. I think Greenup County is really headed in the right direction, and we are. I'm very thankful that we've got a fiscal court and a judge executive that is looking towards the future of Greenup County, and they have take a leap of faith with us. And obviously, we did get our first installment today, and this is going to be at no cost to the city of Greenup, to the water customers of Greenup. So, I mean, it's just very exciting times. And, there's 84 customers down there that a lot of those customers, some of their wells have dried up. Some of them can't get water at all. So the manufacturing is a huge plus, but just bringing good potable drinking water to those customers is an awesome thing. And hopefully someday in the future, once we get our new plant and we get more funding, that we can bring more drinking water to the rest of Greenup County. So what we need to do now is we've talked about in the past, we've talked about phase 9B, and we've heard it. We need to let it out for bid, and we also need to let out the Route 1 water line project, let it out to bid. We can do those simultaneously together, just authorizing Howerton Engineering to let those out for bid. He will take care of the bid process. He will take care of putting it in the paper, and then they will have construction meetings here, most likely, and they'll open up bids here. It'll be open to the public, and then he'll bring all that information back to this body, and then this body can either accept or reject any and all bids. So it's just that point in time now that we need to authorize him to proceed with letting out for bid phase 9B and the Route 1 water line project. Unless someone has questions or comments, or for myself.
The Route 1 project, by the way, is also it's a KYTC project. It's all reimbursed by the state. It doesn't cost the city a penny.
We just have to make a motion to do that, correct?
Yes.
I'll make
Just
a motion.
authorizing Richard Howerton to let the phase 9B. I guess you probably
I
start
said to advertise for the line extension for B and bid out the.
Route 1.
So I'll make that motion.
I second it.
We have a motion and a second. Is there any questions, comments, concerns? Roll call.
Bruce Mance,
Yes.
John Norman,
Yes.
Doretha Hill,
Yes.
Mark Harris,
Yes.
Jeff Hearn.
Yes.
Great. And like I said, once, we've got bid deadlines that we have to meet 14 and 21 days. And once we pin those dates down, we will get that advertised in the paper. And then Richard's got some websites that he puts it on as well for contractors. So hopefully we'll get several bids in. And once we open all those up, then we will bring those back to you guys for you guys to decide. What else do you have there?
These are the two resolutions that we talked about for for grant funding.
Mhm.
The first one is the $301,982, which was the additional grant that went with Phase 9A.
Mhm.
I have the resolution here. And, that's the identical resolution, but this is also for the $130,000, which will go with the rest of the Route 1 project, which you already passed the $177,000, which Danny Bentley got for you.
Right.
Reauthorized. So I got two resolutions here that need to be passed.
And
They say the same thing.
yeah, be just when someone makes the motion, it would be just a Exhibit 4 resolution, and then what exhibit is that one?
Same identical.
Same exact one. Just
one of them is for $130,000.
Yeah.
And this one is for $301,982.
Yep. So it'd be just authorizing me to sign those Exhibit 4 resolutions.
Accepting the grant.
I'll make that motion.
Can I ask the question first?
Sure.
So this money here, where's this coming from?
This the state.
The state.
Yes.
Okay, so like I think I heard you say before, the city is not paying for any of this. Is that correct?
Which project are you talking about? Because
Well, I'm talking about. I know this one right here. They're not.
correct. And the Route 1.
How about these two?
This is all Route 1.
Okay, so the city's not paying for either one of these resolutions.
No,
No.
these are 100%
Okay.
grant.
Okay.
100% grant projects.
Okay. Okay.
Actually, these have been on the books since, God, what was her name?
The 177.
Tanya Pullen.
It started with Tanya.
Yeah.
Yeah, we had to get reallocated through Danny Bentley last
Absolutely.
budget session.
So it's been years in the making. So, did we have a motion?
Yes.
I second it.
We have a second? Yes. So is there any more discussion? Roll call.
Jeff Hearn,
Yes.
John Norman,
Yes.
Mark Harris,
Yes.
Doretha Hill,
Yes.
Bruce Mance.
Yes.
Signature. Authorized signature. And then Lacey will need to fill in the certificate of recording officer.
Gotcha. She have a spot on that one as well, Richard.
This one.
Thank you very much. I'll get that submitted to the state for you.
You have anything else, Richard?
That's all I have.
The next item on the agenda is the War Memorial Agreement. Stephen has already looked over the War Memorial Agreement. For the ones that are new, it is a lease that the city of Greenup has signed for the War Memorial Board for several years. More or less, it just states that we are the city that the board goes through to allow the equipment to be leased from the military and placed up here at the War Memorial. That board carries the insurance. It's at no cost. Again, for us, it's just a parliamentary thing that we've done for several years for the War Memorial. They do it every year. I think the lady did tell Lacey that probably next year they're looking at a 5-year lease instead of a 1-year lease, which would be a lot better for us. So I just need a motion to authorize me to be able to sign the War Memorial agreement. And of course, Stephen McGinnis has already gave his head nod on that as well.
I'll make that motion.
I'll second that.
So we have a motion and a second. Is there any discussion? Roll call.
Jeff Hearn,
Yes.
Mark Harris,
Yes.
John Norman,
Yes.
Teresa Hill,
Yes.
Bruce Mance.
Yes.
Next item on the agenda is the second reading of the annexation ordinance. Again, this is the annexation ordinance that will take place. We've had our first reading. This will go from more or less the boat dock area, northbound, take in all of US 23 and its right of ways. And it'll take in some property that John McGinnis owns, and it will take in the John W. Clark gas station at the intersection of the AA and US 23, and it will also take in the right of ways of that intersection as well. We've already had the first reading. This will be your second reading. Would someone like to hear the second reading of this ordinance?
Yes.
An ordinance of the City of Greenup, Kentucky, stating the City of Greenup, Kentucky's intent to annex certain unincorporated territory, defining the boundary of the unincorporated territory proposed to be annexed, declaring it desirable to annex the unincorporated territory, and other matters.
We also followed state law. We notified the Kentucky, and we did receive a letter back stating that they had zero comments about the annexation, and they were completely 100% good with it. So everything is good to go with them. Does anybody have any questions or comments before I ask for someone to make a motion on that? This will actually be your all's first ordinance passed for the new year. So, someone like to make a motion? John makes the motion.
I'll second it.
We have a second. Any discussion? Roll call.
John Norman,
Yes.
Jeff Hearn,
Yes.
Mark Harris,
Yes.
Teresa Hill,
Yes.
Bruce Mance.
Yes.
The next item on the agenda is your trash can receptacle ordinance. What I plan to do is, after you have your first reading tonight, is I will make a copy of that, have it delivered to your guys' house. That way you'll have a month to review it. And if you want to jot down any changes that you want to make or any comments, feel free. Again, on a first reading of an ordinance, there's no vote required. Only thing I need to know is if someone would like to hear the first reading.
I'd like to hear it.
An ordinance of the City of Greenup, Kentucky, concerning the collection and disposal of solid waste, setting forth certain requirements for the pickup of solid waste, setting forth penalties for violation of the ordinance, and other matters.
That was your first reading, and I will have that sent to your guys' house.
Okay.
Again, read it over. If you want to make any changes, well, that'll take place prior to your second reading. And we're moving right along. The next item on the agenda is to set date for fireworks. I have spoken with Mr. Don Ball, and obviously, as in years past, I'm sorry.
I'm sorry. I just had a question. So what is the ordinance about the trash?
I'll give you a copy of it. That way you can
Okay,
read
good.
about it.
Yeah,
How's that sound? And I spoke with Mr. Don Ball again. He does not do July 4th. He spends that with his family, and he sets off fireworks. So if you look at your calendar, the most logical to me would be July 3rd. That way it gives us July 4th to clean up. That's my recommendation. It's totally up to you guys. Again, I think it would be easier for not only the vendors, the churches, and everything if we done it July the 3rd.
And that'll be a Monday.
That'll be a Monday. July 2nd's on a Sunday.
Okay. Did you talk to Mr. Ball about that? Is
Yeah, July 3rd
he
will
good
be
with
good.
that?
He will be good with that.
I'll make a motion that we set the fireworks for July the 3rd.
I second it.
We have a motion and a second for this year's fireworks to be held on July the 3rd. Is there any discussion? Roll call.
Bruce Mance,
Yes.
John Norman,
Yes.
Teresa Hill,
Yes.
Mark Harris,
Yes.
Jeff Hearn.
Yes.
The next item on the agenda, which I'm sorry, it's not on your all's agenda, but Ronnie Large come to me today and gave me a a drawing, so to speak, of an addition that he wants to do at his house. More or less, if we all know where Ronnie lives at, first and foremost, if I understand him correctly, first and foremost, he wants to try to take his carport that's there now and raise it and not build onto the side of it. But if he can't raise the carport, then he wants to build onto the side of the carport as well. He did go to Howerton's and he has filled out the floodplain permit. His advertisement in the newspaper, I think, hit today, matter of fact, and he had his affidavit. So if you guys want to pass this, and more than welcome to look at it, I don't see a problem with it as far as floodplain goes. If you want to pass that, it would have to be passed with the stipulation
Yeah.
pending the approval from the floodplain people in Frankfurt. And that will give him,
He's got that new motorhome. And
yeah, usually
he can't get
right
over
now
this.
the turnaround roughly 7 to 9 days on floodplain permits out of Frankfurt. So that would save him a tremendous amount of time if that floodplain permit comes back instead of having to wait on us.
I'll make a motion to approve it.
I'll second.
And that will be pending approval from Frankfurt. Yeah.
We don't have no water lines and anything runs down through there.
No, he's going to stay off those. And
That's what.
yeah, I don't think that he will even do the big side of it. He was just throwing that out there just in case he couldn't find. He's having trouble finding somebody to raise the existing carport that's there for whatever reason. So we have a motion on. Did somebody make a motion?
Mm-hmm.
We have a motion on the floor. Oh, we have a motion and a second. I'm sorry. Is there any more discussion? Again, this will be pending approval from the state. Roll call.
Jeff Hearn,
Yes.
Bruce Mance,
Yes.
Teresa Hill,
Yes.
Mark Harris,
Yes.
John Norman.
Yes.
Have I missed anything?
Nope.
That is everything that's on the agenda. Again, a huge thank you to Judge Executive Hall and our fiscal court members for stepping out in this leap of faith with Phase 9B. I can't say how much that I appreciate them, and I'm sure the people in Siloam Bottoms will be very happy once they learn that water is coming to Siloam Bottoms, that they will be excited, and I'm excited for the future development. So,
Well, and one thing about that is it's just not Siloam Bottoms or the 1,000 acres. It could be anybody along that line.
absolutely.
So, I mean, you're not limiting yourself to just that area.
No.
A lot of growth.
A lot of growth.
Lot
You
of
could
growth.
have, you could see a tremendous growth. Subdivisions or anything could come off of that. It's easy to put a spur off a 10-inch line.
Yeah. And one thing we do have to keep in mind, whether I'm sitting here or somebody else is sitting here in the future is that, off of line pressure alone, we're good to go. But once we start talking manufacturing, obviously there's a lot of things in the works now for getting money for the new plant and the intakes. Um, but the manufacturing part of it, if we do end up that site does get developed down there, we're going to have to look at pump station and a tank somewhere along the lines in the future down through there, which, if it brings enough jobs and it does buy enough water, then it's obviously a no-brainer for us, the county, South Shore, everybody. It's a win-win situation for everybody. So it's exciting times right now to see this project underway. I will give you guys a brief update. Um, I was out of town last week. The Argonaut tank has been taken down. It was taken down last Monday, not completely, but the water in it taken down. It was as bad as we thought it was going to be. They have already started the process of removing the floor. The material and everything is there already. We are waiting on approval from the Division of Water on a sleeve type material that we can line one of the inlets going into the Argolite tank. It takes 3 signatures for approval for that. We've received 2 signatures as of today. So it's sitting on someone's desk. Hopefully that'll be signed and we can use that liner and save us a little bit of money there. And then we'll start piecing everything back together. If everything goes well, looking at possibly by the time we get all the welds and stuff done, the new floor, sandblast the inside, repaint, disinfect, we're probably looking at another 3 to 4 weeks, depending on weather, depending on if there's any other issues. Thankfully, during that entire process, like I told you before, I didn't know whether or not we would have anybody without water. And when we emptied the tank and we were connected to Cannonsburg, we did not have anybody without water. So, knock on wood that Ashland doesn't have a major break or Cannonsburg doesn't have a major break until we can get this tank back up and running. Because obviously, if they do, then those people out there are just going to be without until this repair is done. But again, that's part of business, and it's just something that we had to do and bite the bullet on. We're lucky that with the pictures and things that I've seen, that we did not have a catastrophic failure. It was bad. There was no filler up underneath the floor whatsoever.
I have one question.
Sure.
What about the valves coming off the tank? Did we take a look at them as well?
The valves are functioning and working.
They're
Yes.
working good.
Yes, absolutely.
Okay.
So, but that's all I have.
I've got just a few things real fast.
Sure.
The firehouse project.
It'll be on your agenda for next month.
All right. And then I know the police can't be everywhere, but a lot of our stop signs and speed signs are being bent and twisted and tore all to pieces. And I don't know if that's people out walking in the middle of the night or what's going on there. But let's see. So that's enough to get. That's good right there for me.
The firehouse project, again, we've already let that out for bids once, and we did not receive any bids whatsoever. Obviously, we've got to wait for the weather to break before we can start that process. So we're going to that'll be on your next month's agenda. We'll let that out for bid. Hopefully, we'll get some bids back, and we can get that project started as well. The fire chief did apply for the Assistance for Firefighters grant through Homeland Security. I believe he went for breathing apparatuses. And do you know if it was a truck or not?
I think it's a compressor station.
Compressor station. I couldn't remember. So that has all been submitted. That was a lengthy process as well. The federal government has decided to change every city's DUNS number and a SAMS number, which I'm sure everybody doesn't know what that is. But anyway, more or less, we had to prove that we were a city in the Fed's eyes. So You know, instead of them Googling us, we spent hours and hours and hours and days on days trying to prove that we were a city. So luckily we got approved that we were an actual city like 4 or 5 hours before the deadline for the grant was due. So we were able to punch in those numbers and hit submit. So we did receive that grant probably, what was it, 20 years ago maybe? It's been a while. So hopefully we can receive that grant again, and all that's free money as well. But a lot of good things are happening. Um, like I said, I told you guys in the beginning, um, firehouse, and we've got to get started on this water plant and intake system. Um, we have filed with the USDA an funding application with them. Um, Obviously, we're still waiting to hear back from them to see if there's any funding out there available. And I'm working different channels through Frankfurt to see about getting funding um, for the intakes and the water plant. And hopefully, I would like to see at least the minimum the intake process started this spring. So let out for bid and started. Uh, Worst case scenario is we let out for bid the intake system and we just run it to our old plant. And I don't really want to do that, but it will save us a tremendous amount of money with the Grit King that we're going to be installing, and the amount of sludge that we're having to haul off to stay in compliance over there. It will be a huge savings to us and our water customers as well. Uh, but I think we do have to get that started this spring. Um, there's so much going on and so much excitement throughout the county at the county level, and things that I see possibly coming down the pipe, so to speak, that our water plant is going to be needed in a tremendous way and sooner than later. So, and even if it comes down to us having to look at bonding and maybe some principal forgiveness loans, we'll look at those as well. But we have to get this thing off and running. That is the key to the economic growth in Greenup County for this end of the county. Obviously, Russell's in the process of doing what we're doing with their water plant. We've had many conversations with county leaders and some other people that have been hired for the county to give some assessments. So, a lot of great things could be happening in the near future. So we've got to stay focused and be willing to take a leap of faith like the fiscal court was with us this time. So with that being said, that's all I've got. Someone wants to make a motion to adjourn. Absolutely.
On the minutes that were approved for January and the minutes that were approved for tonight, how do we get a copy? Do we get a copy? You have to go online, or
No, you can
read those minutes?
any, and don't take this the wrong way, but you have to fill out the Americans for Freedom Information Act. And then it gets sent to Stephen, our city attorney, and then he will gather that information for you, and then we'll give it to you.
So it's not public knowledge.
It's not public knowledge, no. So anything that is generated from the city, you have to fill out the Freedom for Information Act. So
where do you get that from?
you can get it from
I
her.
can give it to you.
Yeah, she can give it to you. So, but hopefully someday in the future, and I've been working on this for years, but it's time consuming and costs quite a bit of money, is one day I want to see all of our city ordinances online. I want to see everything online.
Yeah, because there's things that go on in the city, like I knew coming back to city council meetings.
Right.
There's things going on that we don't have no knowledge what's
Absolutely.
going on unless you show up. But
Absolutely.
we still, we don't know what's going on when we show up.
I agree.
Because there's nothing read for us to have that information.
Right.
I worked
Absolutely.
for the school board for 27 years, and the minutes are online.
Yep.
On the board of education, just go online and you can read the monthly minutes
Right.
every month. See the agenda and
Right.
the minutes.
The only way we can do that is, like you said, to put them online. And we're looking at software right now, not only to be able to do that, but changing our billing software as well. So hopefully, I'm not going to make any promises, but maybe within the next year, you'll start seeing some of those things come online. Right now, our billing software is number one. It's becoming a hassle. It's a lot of man hours being spent with our billing software for our water system, and it's number one right now. And we've been looking at different systems and trying to decide what's going to be most user friendly for the staff and for the customers. When it comes to software, as Josh will tell you, I'm not the most technology sound person there is, but I know it's becoming old and annotated, and it's time to update. And that's when I have to step aside and let the professionals.
The only time we'll see something like this tonight will be in the paper on this project.
Oh, yeah.
Posted in the actual paper. That's only.
Yes, or you can see it. Everything's being recorded right now. We're live streaming right now.
Yeah.
So every question that you're asking, every answer I'm giving, everybody's viewing it right now.
That's good.
Yeah, absolutely.
There'll be a story Thursday in the Gazette on the water project.
So there you go.
I was just more concerned
But
about
hopefully,
minutes.
I want to say probably in a year time frame, you'll start seeing stuff online and ordinances online. And it's going to take a lot of man hours to get there because there's ordinances in there from a long time ago. So, and some of them have just need to be done away with, and times have changed. So, but hopefully you'll start seeing that within about a year, I would say.
Old ordinances that are antiquated need to be changed.
Freedom Information Act or whatever
Mhm.
you're talking about, is that something we have to fill out for every meeting or one time?
No, you'd have to fill it out for exactly what you want every time.
We are way behind.
Yeah.
Well, that's just a state thing for the freedom of information.
Yeah, that's not nothing that we do. That's what the state requires us to do. So anytime there's an audit or anything like that, we've got to be able to produce that Gene Elster requested this and we gave it to her in that timely manner. Because I think we got 10 days, something like that. 3 days. I'm sorry, 3 days. So and everything goes to McGinnis Leslie's office first, no matter what it is. That's just to protect us as a city and the council members and myself. So I will entertain a motion to adjourn.
I'll make that motion.
I'll second.
I have a motion and a second. Roll call.
Jeff Hearn,
Yes.
Mark Harris,
Yes.
John Norman,
Yes.
Teresa Hill,
Yes.
Bruce Mance.
Yes.
Thank you, guys.